You need to figure out what is the most important. And I'm going to give you a little hint. Keto's not a weight loss diet. So welcome to KetoPaLouZa 2023. We're so excited about this. Listen, we tell people ask us what conference we go to. This is the one conference don't ever miss. Okay?
Yeah.
We're all about community, and Autumn has just put together this amazing thing where you get speakers, you get education, but you get to us what is the most important thing, which is community, which is why for the last year you've heard us encouraging you to be here.
Yeah.
And
were we lying, or is this awesome?
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
So we really want you to get something out of it, and today we're going to change things up a little bit. A lot of times we just get up here and kind of go rah-rah, but we want to talk about how you can have a really successful keto journey.
Yeah, and if you don't know us, you can find us on social media, Two Crazy Ketos and Two Crazy Campers, because once we lost all the weight, we're like, well, what are we going to do now? Like, just be like, all right, cool, I'm smaller than I used to be. So we got out and we're living our life, and so we're in both of those channels. And of course, we have to have a little disclaimer, Joe.
We are not doctors, nurses.
I know I totally look like the doctor part here, but no, we're not. But we're also not from another planet, which kind of leads to like my little theming, because I'm all about themes. Do you guys like themes? I'm a 5-year-old on the inside, truly, okay?
Nobody knew that.
Nobody guessed that. But we're not from another planet in the means of like whatever your goals are, like it's not a case of like, well, they must be from another planet or be a different person. Like they've achieved success, but sometimes we can feel like that, right? Like there's somebody that's not like me in some way. And when you first blast off on your keto journey, success can feel like it's light years away. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I know when I first got started on keto, it was just like, if I can lose 10 pounds, I'll be really happy. Like, I never thought about getting down to 190 pounds. I never thought that I could be successful because I've tried every diet in the world. I mean, we even created a few on our own, like the Progresso soup diet. We did the ramen noodle diet. I mean, you name it, we tried it. And so I was never successful. So we understand that you may feel like, I can't ever get there.
Yeah. We also understand that if you see somebody that's had any measure of success, you can almost stop seeing them as relatable, right? It's like, I can't relate to that person, does not understand what I am going through because I have so much weight to lose. Well, I have lost 170 pounds plus at this point. Thank you, Lord, and keto, and y'all for keeping us accountable, that we're still moving. So I want you to know that this is what you may see sometimes when you'll see a speaker up here today, but this ain't us, all right? We're not aliens. We're not sort of half aliens. Yeah, let's show you what we are.
This is us.
This is us. Yeah. We have been there too. We know what it feels like to hurt in your body, and worse, to hurt in your spirit, to hurt in your soul. That's where we've been there.
So today we want to share tips on how to be successful from one human to another.
Yeah, so we're just humans all in this room.
So we got a few tips. Here's the first tip. We want you to drain your feelings tank.
Oh my goodness, this is a hard one. This is almost like I'm confronting you on this, because I have feelings about staying keto, sticking to keto, doing all the things to make me successful. I've got feelings about this. Like, I don't wanna, right? Sometimes I start the morning like that. But here's the thing, feelings make a terrible fuel source for success. If you are trying to stick to a keto lifestyle, if you're trying to pursue exercise goals, you want to ultimately get that medicine prescribed, your feelings, I'm sorry, but they just don't matter. They are not going to fuel you. If anything, they are going to undermine you.
There is a forward momentum to success. And feelings just want you to stay really grounded in your contemplation.
And we're not like being ugly about it. It's just that we have spent a lot of energy pumping out feelings. And I want you to see exactly what my feelings, like pumping out feelings, this is what it looks like. Like imagine a gas can, and it's like you filled up the car and now it is just pouring out, like just pouring. I mean, you would take note of that, right? That's how much feelings I had. There was depression and anxiety about it. I was angry. I was frustrated. Am I the only person that's had feelings on their health journey? I've had some real feelings, and a lot of them.
Yeah, we wasted like a lot of time figuring out like, how are we going to do today? I mean, we would get up in the morning and Rachel would be like, well, what should we do? How are we gonna feel today? Like, what do you feel like doing? And a lot of times it was just like, let's eat.
Yeah, or let's just
spend
be
time
mad.
on the couch or be mad at ourselves for being overweight.
I'd like to feel guilty for another 15 minutes. Can we push the snooze button on like ticked off for like another 15 minutes before we start this day? And the truth of the matter is, even if stuff is happening in our life, this could be the view out your spacecraft, but you don't even notice it because all you're focused on is that those feelings.
Yep.
And they just keep coming, gushing out, like just, this is it. I just wanna, I mean, there's beauty to behold, but I just wanna concentrate on my feelings.
So our success tank fills us as we realize, I don't have to feel like this doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I just want to do the right thing.
Right, you can do the right thing without feeling like doing the right thing. And I can prove it to you because you're doing it in other areas. I want you to see these three jokers over here, okay? Those are our boys, and I'm gonna tell you, as much as I am so thankful for them, there were mornings I didn't feel like being their mother. In fact, there were some mornings where I was like, I don't answer to that name. There is no mom here, so stop calling her, all right? But whether or not I felt like being their mom, I got up and went ahead and mommed it, right? There are some times that, gosh, I love you so much. Wife?
Is that every day?
Honey? No. You looking for some other woman, right? I mean, so you don't always feel like doing things. I don't always feel like going to work. How many people are just, show of hands, are just, I'm going to work today. Oh my gosh, you're owning the business. That's what it is. Y'all own the business. But like, it's hard, but I do it anyway, right? We get up and go to work anyway.
So when it comes to keto, here's the thing. Y'all know already how to be successful.
Yeah.
Right? We all know, anybody in this room right now, you know what you need to eat to be successful on keto. Can we all admit that, right?
Yeah.
It may be different. For some of us, it may be carnivore.
Slightly.
Some of us may be ketovore. Some of us may be the lion diet. Some may be just like standard, like I'm not going to eat bread, pasta, sugar, grains, things like that. But we know to be successful, we need to not eat sugar and wheat and processed garbage, right?
But we're in the ballpark, and that is a major success. Can we clap hands? Like, we know what to eat. We know.
Like, what was it? Knowing is half the battle.
No, G.I. Joe. It's
Right.
half the battle.
But here's the thing. These guys didn't know.
We didn't know. There was a time, as frustrated as I get some days on trying to pursue my goals, at least I'm not frustrated in pursuing my goals and confused as to how to go about them, right? We're already stepping in the right direction of success because we just know, well, where am I headed, right? Because for so long we were like, grains, no fat, no all vegetables. I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to eat? These guys didn't know.
So when you know, you know.
Yeah.
And now you know.
And now you know. You know.
So tip number 2.
You need to clearly define success. What are you going for? I mean, imagine setting your GPS to find 5 hotel rooms at once today. How will you know when you get there, right? But a lot of times we're trying to do all the things at once. Now, before you define what success is for you in this moment, we got to remember to drain the emotions tank. That feelings tank needs to be completely drained. Like, no, seriously, go back to number 1. forget the feelings, because the most important thing to you may be what's going on in your body, not what size jeans you're wearing right now, right? So if we are focusing on getting healthy and working on our blood work, that may be a different pivot than when you're like, man, I'm trying to optimize, my butt in these apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur, right?
So what you need to do is you need to decide what is most important to you right now, and then set a course on that. And we'll get coaching clients that will call us up and they'll like, well, what do you want to accomplish? I want all of this. No, I want one thing. What is the most important thing that you want to focus on? If you tell me, well, hey, I just need to get my body healthy. My A1C is a 7.8. I mean, we were talking to someone last night that their A1C was like a 6.7, and 3 months later it was a 4.9. Like, how do you do that? Because so far as I know from talking to Dr. Berry, there's no medication on the planet that can do that.
Talk about fast acting.
So, I mean, that is, like, to us, amazing. But you need to figure out what is the most important. And I'm going to give you a little hint. Keto's not a weight loss diet. It's not a weight loss diet. Weight loss is a side effect of eating keto, but keto is a health optimization lifestyle. Okay, first of all, get rid of the word diet, because a diet indicates an end. A diet means, like, think about, and even subconsciously, oh, I'm going on a diet. Well, that means you're going to end at some point. Hopefully you don't end your keto lifestyle, but it's a health optimization lifestyle, and then the weight loss will be a side effect. So hopefully our number one thing is I want to optimize my health. I want to get off of medication. I want to not have to use a wheelchair anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be 52 years old and become a scuba instructor. There's different things that you can do, but figure out what was the most important thing, and that's what we're going to focus on right now.
Because despite your best efforts, we're not going to conquer the galaxy in a day. And I want to show you whose goal that is. This guy. This is how he does his keto, okay? I'm going to conquer the entire galaxy, and we're doing it now. And it's literally, you got to keep him, I don't care who it kills, really, right? I'm going to destroy my relationships. I am going to aggravate the children. I will slash the budget. I will do something crazy to my body, because I am trying to conquer all of the things. We're not the Emperor Palpatine, okay? We're going to take this one planet at a time.
Now, excuse me. Now, we talk to people and they're like, okay, we figured out what we want. The next question that we always get from somebody is, how long is this trip going to take?
Well, if you're reading the magazine in the checkout counter, you might be able to accomplish your weight loss goals before you put your groceries in your car, right?
I love the fact that Dr. Berry has been in Woman's World several times, and some of you all have been in Woman's World. But it's a little frustrating when you see this magazine and goes, lose 100 pounds in 20 days.
I just pray. I see it. I'm like, okay, that's the foot in the door, right? That you're aware that this type of eating exists. Now get onto the YouTubes and find all the people for real, and they'll talk to you about living it out day by day, not like changing things moment to moment.
And for all of you who are sitting, and we get these emails all the time, I'm struggling, I don't understand, I've only lost 5 pounds in the last month. That's good.
That's great.
Okay, if you're losing a half a pound to a pound a week, you're above average.
Yeah.
So don't pay attention to the headlines that say you can lose 30 pounds in a month. Can you? It's possible. I'm going to tell you, it's not fat anyway. If you were eating 300 grams of carbohydrates a day and your plate looked like mine, where it was like a box of cereal was a serving, you're going to drop probably 10 pounds of water weight just from not eating that stuff.
Right.
But take it slow. Don't worry about it.
I feel like it's almost like the promises now on a diet magazine is kind of like what they used to promise on the National Enquirer, right? Some just like outlet, bearded baby gives birth to bearded dog, and you're like, wow, is it possible? Well, we would stop and be, well, I don't think that's a thing. I've never even seen a bearded baby before. So I want you to remember that when you're at the checkout counter and you're thinking, oh man, it says if I eat enough prune juice, I could lose it all by next Tuesday.
So I'm going to give you a little tip, okay? If someone promises you a definitive timetable.
This is your stance. Run.
The second anybody, whether it's us, a magazine, another coach, I don't care if I'm offending someone, if they tell you, I promise you, you can lose 20 pounds in the next month, in the next 6 months, you need to run because everybody's different.
Yeah.
And there may be other things that we need to work on. So if somebody promises you an absolute definitive timetable, you need to run.
Yeah, because there are really going to be a lot of variables. And this is a hard thing for us to face because a lot of times in, moving forward, we've actually taken our game pawn and we've moved it backward on our own, right? So we can ask ourselves some of these questions. Have you abused your body for a long time with undereating, binging and purging? And binging and purging isn't just like vomiting. We're talking about like, have you given yourself like copious amounts of food? We're having like, we having a birthday party and like just tons of stuff and then going for like long stints. I'm not going to eat anything.
Like
carb addiction.
I went off of my keto journey for a couple days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast for the next 7 to get rid of that sugar.
Exactly.
Don't do that. That's binging and purging.
Right. Have we used diet pills or other weight loss hacks? All of those things have an influence on this timetable. And as much as we use them as a shortcut, a lot of times it sets us back.
Yeah, your body may have temporarily lost its ability to establish and maintain the proper balance. I'm very well known for saying, like, I don't like the macro calculators that are out there. Why? Because they don't know you. So they're going to say, hey, you should eat this much. But were you, Rachel, eating 500 calories a day for 2 years? Well, she slowed down her metabolism to the point that she gained 70 pounds eating 500 calories, which is why we also say, like, counting calories, it doesn't work. Because how did she gain weight eating 500 calories? Because her metabolism slowed down. DEXA scans are awesome. They're going to give you what your basal metabolic rate is based on your muscle, your height, your age, your bone density. But they don't know what you've done to your metabolism. Now, can it be fixed? Absolutely, because you didn't break your metabolism. It's designed to do that. But we're going to need to work on things. And so that affects our timetable. But
given enough time, your body will stabilize and begin to serve you properly once again. And it continues to be a journey. How many people were here last year? Well, last year there were 30 more pounds of me to enjoy. I didn't pack those 30 pounds this year. And that was after a 2-year stall. And I've remained keto, but again, it is a slow moving thing. To the degree that I jacked myself up, that's how much longer it's going to take. And I know that it's frustrating, but one thing that we've come to encourage you today is we were in the same boat. So if we can have success and truly, we the nuttiest people you know, I know it, right? Like I am your crazy aunt, right? We're the people that you're like, oh, at the family reunion. Like it's a family reunion and we are the crazy aunt and uncle. Yeah. If we can have success, you can have success.
Yeah, we did a lot of damage over the years to our bodies.
Yeah.
And you're already successful when you know that lasting results don't have a deadline.
They don't have a deadline. How long are we in this journey? Until your last breath. So let's stop acting like we're lighting a fire on a dynamite and we've got to have it before it burns down. We've got to have all of our success because that is not your timetable.
So here's the question though. Think about a timetable like this. What if this guy,
look at this handsome man,
decided that he wanted to be a doctor, but only if he can do the college thing in 1 year? Where would we be today?
I'd be in a mess. Would you be in a mess? Are you glad that Dr. Berry was willing to invest more time in this process?
And we probably should have had a picture of Miss Nisha up there saying, what if she wouldn't have told him to start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, aren't you? It takes patience. It takes time. And if I said, well, I need to get, you wouldn't even go to somebody who said, I got my doctor's degree in a year, would you? Your first name is doctor. That's all that is, right? Your parents named you that.
Tip number 3.
Make keto a permanent decision and not a temporary deprivation.
We mentioned this already, but so how many people have seen the movie Apollo 13? Right? Great movie, right?
Such a good movie.
What is the difference between Tom Hanks and Jim Lovell?
Well, one of them played an astronaut, and one of them was an astronaut, right? There is a big difference in the level of commitment that those gentlemen had, right? So if Tom Hanks was like, I got this, I'm getting in the spaceship right now, I'm going to plan on going to orbit, right? He'd be in a mess. He's not actually prepared. He's prepared to step into a set for a set little bit of time. But like, do not let him man your spacecraft. He don't know what he's actually doing.
So growing up, show my age, I had like a regular PC with MS-DOS, and one of the first video games that came out
Green screen.
was Flight Simulator. And it taught you how to fly a plane. I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to be able to fly a plane.
Lindsay Murphy's husband's not going to be like, you got this, Joe, go ahead.
If I did try to fly a plane, I crashed a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
Okay, so here is the thing that's going to really punch in the gut right now. Here's the question for you. Have you been playing keto?
Have you been playing keto, or you're actually keto? Are you Tom Hanks or an actual astronaut? Because it really does make a difference. And it's a lot, you know, it's so funny because that's the thing. Jim Lovell, like, just did the right thing and kind of lived in obscurity. Like, how many people could pick him out of a lineup? Not many, right? How many people could pick Tom Hanks out of a lineup? Feel like pretty, right? Because that outward showing is not reflective of the consistency going on the inside of you. That everyday thing, man, that's not celebrated like it should be, but it should be celebrated because that's what it's going to take.
Yeah, so, you know, what do we mean by have you been playing keto? Are you half in and half out?
Yeah.
Are you going to the store and buying every product that's labeled keto and not looking at the label, not looking at the ingredients on the back? Are you buying things like low carb breads that have 48 total carbs, but they're going, it's 0 net carbs? That's plain keto.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
judgment.
speaking from experience,
That's right.
This is not like, oh, we're so much better. We are speaking from experience. I was the one going, oh my gosh, this cream cheese has 4 carbs and this one has 3. So I'm buying that one, even though the ingredients are identical.
Well, I wasn't even buying that one. What I was doing is buying the 4 carb cream cheese, but then putting into Chronometer the 3 carb cream cheese because I want the credit for that.
We're speaking from experience. We have played all kinds of dieting roles.
And this is what it looks like.
This is a dieting role, right?
So I eat what I want. And then I go on, I could put anything like cabbage soup diet, right? Anything in there. Then I do lose weight because I was losing friends on cabbage soup diet, right? Like, so, and it gets to a point where I'm like, if I have another ladle of that cabbage soup, Lord. But then it's back to eat what I want, and it's a circle.
Now this doesn't work. You know what this makes us good at?
Drawing circles. That's all it does.
How many people have ever been to Washington, D.C.? How many people have ever driven in the circle at Washington, D.C.? How many people have ever gotten lost on that circle?
Yes. Oh,
right?
my gracious. We could just keep going around.
I got
the
lost
horn.
in that circle for 2 hours once.
And I don't need to be upset about it. What I was doing is I was putting myself in a circle cycle, and I got really good at drawing circles. So, like, why would I be aggravated about that? That's exactly what I set up to do. I was majorly successful.
But when we made this decision to be keto, we made it for life.
It's funny because that is a life-size and full-figured Chewbacca, and we make him look like an Ewok. But that's me and my mom and Joe, and we all had to just make the decision to be keto for life.
And here's the thing, we were shocked by the results.
We truly were. We're like, oh my gosh, this thing actually works. I cannot believe it.
We were shocked to no longer feel imprisoned.
There was a moment where we stopped looking and saying, like, these are the keto things in our pantry, and now it's just our pantry. If you are still opening the refrigerator and saying, there's my keto food and there's my other food,
Clean your refrigerator.
Clean the refrigerator out. Like, that, we're not all in. So you need to get to the point, and that's what you're hoping for, when it stops being like, you know, just like that's my Weight Watchers bar, and now it's just like that's my lunch, that's my food.
Our kids come to us and they open up the refrigerator and they open up the pantry and they're like, there's no food in here. I'm like, no, there's plenty of food. There's just no junk food in the refrigerator.
There's no junk, yeah.
Right? So here's the thing, consistency shouldn't be a shocking concept to us.
Right, and we understand it in other areas. If you're, you know, trying to build your muscles, You know that you are able to build up reps because you just keep doing the same thing and building up strength. And you're already successful when you know life change requires a decision. Before I had Caleb and I was out to here, the decision had been made. You're not a little bit pregnant, right? I mean, you're pregnant. You're all in or you're all out, right? So that it was a decision had been made and we are pursuing that, right?
And we're so glad. This is Rachel's mom.
Yeah.
And this is the only person who we have ever fought with to do keto.
Yes.
It's the only person I ever
Hog tie
with.
is probably a better word for
We
it.
lost Rachel's dad, and I'll never forget the conversation. We were in our garage, and Rachel said, "You're doing this?" And she's like, "Oh, the hell I am." And we're like, "You're doing this? You have no choice." And I remember stomping her feet. "If you think I am never going to have icing on a cake, you've got a sad thing coming." I'm like, "Well, guess
And she
what?"
always had those chicken legs, so it was really like emphasized, you know, like she's
because
just
she was
not
the
doing
person
it.
who was a type 2 diabetic for over 20 years and literally would go, "I like cake. Go buy me an entire Publix cake." She would eat all the icing off of the cake and then pop a bunch of pills to counteract the fact that she just ate all the icing.
Yeah. It took a decision
And
for life.
she's now no longer a type 2 diabetic.
Yeah. Praise God. So here's tip number 4, and this is something that you need to be thinking about as you
This is why you're here.
This is why you are here. You are able to expand your crew, but not fire the captain. Okay, so what do we mean by that? Well, first of all, obviously, we value community. We love it. I mean, it should be like 2KK, but community with a K. 2 crazy communities, right?
We downright are crazy about community.
Yeah,
This
you
is
guys
why
may
we
see some of
encourage this.
yourselves in here. Give yourselves a hand.
We went to Ketocon in 2019 with a tiny little channel with 200 people. As a matter of fact, Autumn really helped to even get us there.
Yeah.
And that's where we really built our friendship with Autumn, was getting up to Ketocon in 2019. And we walked in and we're like, there needs to be community. Like, we all need to get together and encourage each other. And that's why we really have our channel the way we have. But we absolutely love community. It's so important.
It's
because
become-
you can't do this without
And
community.
we are reaching a crazy state for
Right.
sure. Like,
So, I mean, listen, I say all the time that, like, I will never host a conference because, like, I couldn't do what Autumn does. And, like, it's what she's done here is amazing. And we've watched it grow from 20 people. We were supposed to be at the first one, and, you know, flights got canceled and all that kind of stuff. But we will never, ever miss this, and that's why she'll have it in 10 years. Okay, but we're so crazy about it, we've decided that we want to vacation with our community.
I can't wait till the next conference.
So, yeah, since there's no more conferences until like March or April of next year, we decided like we're just gonna have a cruise and no speakers, just like who wants to hang out.
Let's just hang out. But it's an important thing to realize that you can grow your crew. So your crew can expand, like we've grown our crew, like we've grown in friendship, but at the same time, you can still captain your ship, all right? So you have to kind of be a little bit on your guard because a new version of keto is blasting off every single day.
Now, this is not a knock on any keto
No.
doctor, speaker,
Nope.
influencer. Here's the thing. But if you turn on YouTube, there's the lion diet, the carnivore diet, there's ketovore, there's keto, there's high protein, low fat, there's high fat, low protein, there's you can eat 10 carbs, you can eat 20 carbs, you can do net carbs, you can do total carbs. You have to find what works for you, as our friend Nisha talks about, like N equals 1.
Yeah.
You don't need to change your personal coordinates to fit in.
No, you don't. So as you're friending, and for us, it was we were so excited to make friends, and sometimes we can wrongly assess that, like, in order to maintain friendships, the door cost, the point of entry, you've got to pay means I got to do it everybody else's way. And if I don't pivot when everybody else pivots, or if I don't change things and do things another person's way, they're going to stop being my friend. And so I'm so
Give them the
desperate
boot.
for community that I want to just do it their way, even if what I'm doing is working for me. And that is a lie. You do not need to change what you're doing to fit in with what is current.
This is why, like in our community, on our Mighty Networks group and in our Facebook group, we said there's no keto police. The second somebody comes in, or we probably boot 10 to 20 people a week out of our community. We're like, well, this is the only way to do it. Like, you have to do only, hey, as much as we like total carbs, if someone comes in and be like, well, you could do net carbs, and if you're not doing net carbs, you're wrong, we'll boot you out. Because this is about community. I think the greatest thing that has ever come out of Dr. Barry's mouth, and as great as he is and all the things he's talked about, was coming up with the term, the proper human diet. Because the proper human diet isn't only eating carnivore. Carnivore is great. It's not sustainable for me. But guess what? Carnivore is still keto. It's just a stricter form of keto.
Yeah.
I love what he says. The proper human diet, low carb, he'll talk about it, I'm sure, later. Low carb, under 100 total carbs a day. For our daughter-in-law, Michelle, she can eat 100 total carbs a day and still be in ketosis. Why? Because she's 30 years old and is a CrossFit trainer.
She's not fixing something. There was a lot to fix in here, all right?
I can't eat 30 total carbs a day sometimes. I mean, so it's finding what works for you, and what's more important is a community that accepts everybody in the proper human diet.
Exactly. And like I said, we really understand these people right here did not know how to friend. We did not know what it would mean. Like, who would accept us if you've ever been rejected before? Like, we were absolutely that, like, I had the Forrest Gump experience on the bus. Taken. Did not hear, not by me. So we were so excited to find friendship. But what I'm even more excited for now is the fact that we have found friends who let us be us. I see beautiful Marianne in the front waving, and Chris right there. They let us be us. Sarah lets me be me. That is friendship. That is what you're going to find here.
So you're already successful when you know your friends want you to do your keto and not their keto.
Yeah.
So when you're in a group of people like this, where they're like, I don't care what version of keto you're doing. I don't care if you're eating net carbs. I don't care if you're eating total carbs. I don't care if you're eating all meat. I don't care if you're including things like keto chow.
Right.
It doesn't really matter to me. I just want to be your friend and support you.
Yeah, truly. So here is a tip number 5. Honor yourself daily like you understand every trip around the sun is a gift. And I think a lot of times we have this like prayer in our hearts and we speak it out that's like, I just wish that I could stop struggling with my weight. I wish that the struggle will be over. But you know what? Struggle is a sign of life. And I am going to be struggling with my goals and the maintenance of my goals. I pray when I am dancing at Peyton's wedding that I will still be struggling, because struggling represents life. And we are going, and I pray, I'm sorry, but I am praying for your struggle. I am praying for each and every one of you to have a long and full and rich struggle, because I want you to have a long life. I want to show you, these are pictures of 2 gentlemen that are so precious to us. These are our fathers, and their weight loss struggle is over. Their health momentum, that struggle with medication, it's over, because they're no longer with us. Boy, I wish they were still struggling. Is there somebody that you love and you wish, boy, I wish that they were still battling it, because the battle is a victory in itself. And the good news is I got a new friendship bracelet today, and I have a 2 Crazy Ketos thing to remind me that I am in this battle, but I am not the only soldier in it. I am not by myself. We're in this together.
Yep. So please don't be mean to yourself.
No, I love this picture of my dad. He was reading a book and he was doing the voices, right, of the bad guy in it. And so he was really getting into it. And sometimes when we're reading the story of our own life, we can get that scowl, right? And it's fun for the voice of the bad guy, and we move on to the next page, and ultimately it's a happily ever after, right? But in the moment, we can kind of be a scowl. Don't have that face for yourself.
Now, here's what we want you to do, though. We don't want you to wait to live. We want you to start enjoying things right now. So this is Rachel, which kind of is amazing to me. This is a shipwreck in Fort Lauderdale.
It's two shipwrecks. One's me and one's the other.
It's a shipwreck called the SS Copenhagen, and it's an actual shipwreck. It wasn't sunk. And it was actually bombed by President George Bush in World War II because the Germans were using it as a guard to take out ships. But this is Rachel scuba diving. 300-pound Rachel couldn't scuba dive.
No.
You know, and we've just made this decision that we're just going to live. Like, God has given us this ability, this rejuvenation and a second chance at having our health, and we want you to do the same thing. That's keto on the couch, right? We had keto on the couch. It started because we were sitting on a couch and talking about our lives, and then COVID happened and we started live streaming it, and then somebody suggested, like, we should change the name because we don't sit on a couch anymore. And I'm like, oh, Keto Beyond the Couch, because we want to live life beyond a couch.
Yeah.
That was our entire life pre-keto. Our entire life was go out, eat, come home, sit on the couch or lay in bed and watch movies and eat more.
Yeah.
That was the only thing we did. We had zero life outside of being on a couch. Don't wait. Don't wait until you've lost 200 pounds to start doing things. Start doing it right now.
And I'm reaching for my lanyard, but I just got a belly button. You're on your lanyard is the city you live in, right? So look around for people that live in your area. And decide, make a date. It doesn't have to be weird. You don't have to give them the PIN code to your ATM, okay? You're exchanging information. I mean, if you'd like that, then go for it. But make a date. Start living. Decide today, I'm not leaving here until I schedule coffee. I'm not leaving here until I decide, you know what, let's go play Goonie golf. We do not have to like run a marathon together if we don't want. We can just go and decide.
You're running a marathon.
I came out now. For some people, this is a really big deal. How many people is this their first conference? Wow. Yep. You've already done the hard work to put yourself out there. Do me the favor and don't go back inside.
Yeah.
Make a date today. Make a date this weekend that you're going to go and you're going to go do something following this conference.
I said earlier that when we started our channel and really decided to start trying to build it, our thing was about building community. And it so excites me to open up Facebook and go into our Mighty Network group and see people like Sarah and Cynthia and Chris and everybody having meetups, you know, Jackie,
Sabrina.
having meetups all over the country. I think Chris said to me that there's one weekend where there are like literally 3 meetups across the country, not conferences, just like let's go out to eat or have a barbecue at someone's house. On the same day, there's 3 of them.
And that is how the world gets changed.
Yeah.
It doesn't get changed because 2 knuckleheads are up talking. It gets changed because people are in the trenches with one another and they're visiting and they're having real life relationships being made, because a lot of times, what do we talk about? Stress eating. Well, I need to share my stress with somebody. I need to talk to somebody. You know, I'm hurting in some way, or this is what I'm going through, or I'm starting out for a new job, or this is what's going on with my kids. Sharing that and having that friendship means that it's no longer just me and Ben and Jerry. It's me and Sarah, and it's me and Chris, and me and Megan. It's me and Karen. We're together in this. I have someone to share my life with, so I don't have to just share my life with food.
We're so passionate about this, we got off track.
We did.
Yeah, because here's the thing. We don't want you to wait to take this photo.
Yeah. We have like no photos of us and our children. I don't know if we're the only ones, but there's so many things that like once I got past a certain weight or size, it was like by the time I got into 24W, I was like, I put the kids out in front. I took tons of pictures of them, but it's like these children are orphans. Yeah. Like they have no parents, right? Okay. So thank you so much that I'm not the only person. Take the picture because our children told us the joke was on us. They were never embarrassed. We weren't the embarrassing mom. We were their precious mom. We were their precious dad, the only parents they had, and they were quite proud of us, quite happy to say, that's my mom. And they would like a historical record that you existed, all right? And resisted before you get into your button fly Levi jeans, okay? That's what they want.
So just don't wait.
Don't wait.
You are already successful when you know what mistakes,
what matters
most.
I know, it's like the tiniest writing. Yeah. What matters most is not going to wait until you get to the right weight. Yeah. It's not gonna wait. And I don't want you to miss it. If I decide we're not taking the picture until I look just right with our granddaughter, we miss it. We miss the shot. I don't wanna miss, I have missed enough. Have you missed enough? Who's missed something? I've missed enough. I've missed enough joining in things. I've missed participating in stuff. I've missed attending things and exploring. We may have to do it with the help of a motorized device, or we may have to do it with a cane for now. We may have to do it a little differently, but let's do it and stop missing out. Don't wait.
Yeah. Just know that right now, your life is full of success.
You're already successful. You got up this morning. You're breathing in and out. There's another day that you can continue in consistency and continue to have success one step at a time. You can look at your right or to your left here, in front of you or behind you, and there's somebody cheering for you today. You're already a very great success.
So, guess what?
What?
Autumn gave us too much time.
We're early! Yay!
We can actually take. We should tell. No, we'll take questions.
You were successful in your last 30 pounds, and you talked about relieving stress. I want to know what kind of stress and how did you do that?
Well, thank you so much. The biggest stress I have, I do not like confrontation. I just do not like it. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I mean, it just buckles me. If I think I have to have a hard talk with somebody, or if I have to tell somebody no, I'm just like that, yes, yes, yes. Like I do not want to disappoint people. And I think that comes from being so obese for so long. Part of my like wanting to fit in is I will take on all the jobs. Like, because I don't believe that you're gonna organically pick me because there's anything likable, because that's, oh man, we get such a wrong believing attached to how we look on the outside. And sometimes we really create a thing that it's like, oh, well, I don't have anything else to offer, so please, 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 I will be your doormat if you will invite me to the party. And so I would take on so many jobs. I would volunteer for everything. Anything anybody needed. Yes, I will watch your dog, and I will take in your baby to babysit and this. And I was double parked in life. And it was really hard for me to say no. And I had to decide, I am going to start saying no to things. What is my best yes? Because anytime I say yes to something, I am saying no to something else. So if I say yes to staying up all night with this gentleman because he don't like to sleep, I am saying no to the rest that I need for me to be well tomorrow. If I say yes to this time commitment, I may be saying no to a relaxed game of Uno with my 3 boys. And I have to say, like, man, I know that volunteering at this animal shelter is a very good thing, and I will help you find somebody else to replace me as a volunteer because I got to be at that Uno tournament. But what would happen when you can't change anything? When you're like, I keep double parking in my schedule, I don't want to talk to that person in human resources about how I need to get my vacation, and all these conversations we don't want to have. What results in it is we eat our feelings. We eat it. We chew on what we don't discuss.
So for those of you who are in a stall, understand this, that only 80% of your health has anything to do with your diet, which is still more than what most people, a lot of people think that like, oh, diet's only a small portion. No, 80% of your health is what's going in your mouth. The other 20% is comprised of sleep, stress management, and movement. I mean, the greatest thing in the world that we ever heard was, oh, you can lose weight on keto without moving? At the beginning, but eventually you're gonna have to move. And like my biggest battle, and anybody who watches our channel knows, is sleep. I sleep 4 hours a night, 3 hours a night. Well, it's not good for my health, and that's why like I struggle to lose the 10 pounds that I want to lose. My diet, great. I don't eat carbs, I don't eat sugar, I only eat 1 or 2 times a day, but I don't sleep. So you have to, if you're looking at things going, oh, my diet's perfect, well, where's your sleep, your stress management, and your movement? So you gotta work on those things.
The last slide that y'all had on Thursday, Joe, you had mentioned using hand sanitizer to mess up the microbiome.
When you're using all of that alcohol, it's just in general, what are you doing? You're killing germs. You're killing stuff. So I'm not saying don't use hand sanitizer.
Don't bake, everybody.
It was more of the
Goodbye.
people who say like, I worry about these little tiny things, and instead of like, let's look at the broad picture, you know? So it's like, don't focus on the big stuff right now. Like, don't sweat the little tiny things. So I don't want anybody to take that and go like, don't ever use hand sanitizer. Yeah, please make sure we're cleaning our hands and stuff. But you know, we talk about like Rachel doused him like
he was slick.
Like literally, let's pour alcohol over this child, and he's always sick because he just affected his immune system.
And because sometimes we can just get really ticky-tack about certain ingredients, like I'm avoiding this ingredient because this can contribute to my immunity being broken down. Well, there's a lot of factors. So I don't want, we don't want you to.
It's like what we said about like antibiotics on my cow. Like, yeah, there's a difference between a feedlot loading, cattle up with antibiotics because they're together, and then taking your cow that's in your pasture that's by itself and it got sick and maybe it needs a little bit of an antibiotic so it doesn't die, right? Like, let's not sweat the small stuff.
Major in the majors and minor in the minors, right? Okay, well, we did it. We're so proud of us. Oh my goodness, thank you guys.
2024.